Good evening. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Newport News School Board for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. On behalf of the members of the school board and Dr. Mitchell, I welcome each of you present this evening and those of you that are watching on TV and online. A quorum is present to transact the business of the school division. And now I will call on Ms. Kyla Leggett, our student representative, to the school board to introduce tonight's student guest for the invocation and pledge.
Good evening. We will begin tonight's meeting with the invocation and pledge to the flag. Here to do the honors is Andrea Elizabeth McKenzie, a 12th grade student at Warwick High School. Andrea, will you please come forward and tell us a little bit about yourself before you begin?
Good evening. My name is Andrea McKenzie, and I'm a senior at Warwick High School. I'm a part of the Governor's Health Science Academy, New Horizons EMT program, and I am our Navy Junior ROTC's commanding officer. As we begin this meeting, let us take a moment to reflect on the values that guide both service and leadership: discipline, respect, and a commitment to a cause greater than ourselves. May the decision made here tonight be grounded by integrity, strengthened by teamwork, and guided by courage, the same principles that sustain our schools, our communities, and our nation. As said by former First Lady of the United States, Eleanor Roosevelt, a good leader inspires people to have confidence in the leader, but a great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves. Let us aspire to that kind of leadership, the quiet, steady, and unwavering way to do what is right, to serve others with compassion, and move forward with purpose and hope for the future. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Andrea,
you.
for participating in tonight's meeting. You did a wonderful job. Supporting Andrea tonight are her family members and her school family. Please stand and be recognized. Andrea, will you please guide us through the pledge?
Yes, ma'am. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We appreciate it, and we thank you for your presence at tonight's meeting. You may be seated.
Thank you, Kyla, for introducing our student, and thank you, Angela. Very inspiring, very inspiring. The next item on tonight's agenda is school board recognitions. Dr. Mitchell, please join me at the podium.
Good evening, Newport News. It is time for school board recognitions, so let's get started. Good evening. I have the pleasure of presenting this month's honorees, VSBA Academy Awards, and that's the Virginia School Board Association. Training and development are top priorities for the school board. As part of its collective effort to maintain effective leadership, the board has participated in numerous development programs, conferences, and workshops through the Virginia School Board Association and COSBA. This evening, our school board members are receiving their own awards for their dedication to advancing their expertise from the Virginia School Board Association. The VSBA Academy provides training in effective leadership and governance to school board members and support staff. Each year, VSBA recognizes board members for their dedication to improving their skills through conferences and leadership, school law, strategic planning, and legislative issues. Each person's being recognized this evening has received a certificate from the SBA. These awards honor their participation in the Academy's program for the past 2 years. School Board Chairman Dr. Terry Bess and school board members Douglas Brown and Lisa Searles Law earned the Award of Distinction. Board members Gary Hunter earned the Award of Excellence. Board member Marissa Alger earned the Award of Achievement, and board members Rebecca Amon and Rashina Harris earned the Award of Recognition. In addition, Superintendent Dr. Michelle Mitchell earned an Award of Excellence. Award of Distinction honorees, School Board Chairman Dr. Best, and school board members Lisa Searles Law and school board members Douglas Brown will be recognized at a special luncheon during the Virginia School Board Association annual convention next month. Each of these dedicated public servants have received award certificates and distinctive lapel pins to symbolize their commitment to effective school board governance through participation in the Academy. On behalf of the students, staff, and citizens of Newport News, thank you for your dedication and leadership of the school division, and congratulations on your awards. Let's give them a hand of applause. Awesome stuff. We're going to move on to the 2024-2025 Transportation Employee of the Year. You on the edge of your seats? Yes. Okay. All right. We're currently celebrating National School Board Safety Week, which started yesterday and continues through this Friday, October 24th. So we thought it would be a perfect week to recognize our Transportation's Department outstanding contributions to our students' safe arrival and from school each day. Every school day, drivers in Newport News share the road with other 300 yellow school buses, 300 of them, y'all. Ooh. These buses are driven by some of the school division's most dedicated employees who provide safe and efficient transportation for nearly 20,000 students. Being a bus driver is a great responsibility, and our next honorees have served students in the school division for 10 years and was a previous winner of the Rookie Driver of the Year. Wonder who could that be? Recently, Gary Wingen was named the Newport News Public Schools Bus Driver of the Year. Mr. Winigan, please come forward. Come on. All right, I'm up here. If you all could remain, we'll go stand right next to Dr. Bess. Yeah. If you could all come, please remain up front while we take a group picture after I get everyone up front. Thank you so much. Mr. Winigan is a great role model for all other drivers. He is dependable with an exceptional attendance record and is dedicated to his students and committed to his job and his colleagues. The criterion for the Bus Driver of the Year is stringent. Honorees must have outstanding attendance, excellent annual evaluations, and they must volunteer and maintain a great safety record. Mr. Winigan serves students who attend Heritage and Woodside High Schools, Crenadon and Gildersleeve Middle Schools, Riverside Elementary School, and Achievable Dream Academy. He is also a driver for athletes. Congratulations, Mr. Winigan. The role of our next honoree is essential to ensuring that all of our students arrive at school safely and securely. Bus assistants are responsible for maintaining safety on the school bus by providing one-on-one attention to our special needs and younger students. The assistants are assigned to the most challenging bus routes, those that include younger students, medically fragile students, and students with disabilities. This year, LaGayla Ellis was named Bus Assistant of the Year. Miss Ellis, please come forward. And that's Legalia. Yes. Miss Ellis is responsible for tending to students as they load, ride, and unload the bus. She must know the bus route, assist in emergency, operate on all the equipment on the bus, and be familiar with the medical needs of each student. Ms. Ellis has been a member of the transportation team for 25 years. She has outstanding attendance and has been commended for openly communicating with students, parents, and school staff. Ms. Ellis has earned excellent annual evaluation, and she maintains all her training and first aid certification. Congratulations on being named the Bus Assistant of the Year, Ms. Ellis. Awesome. Each year, the Transportation Department also recognizes a bus driver with 5 or fewer years of service with the Rookie Bus Driver of the Year award. Being a bus driver is a great responsibility, and our next honoree has served students and the school division for 3 years. Miss Angel Jefferson, please come forward. Ms. Jefferson is dependable and is dedicated to her students and committed to her job and her colleagues. The criterion for Rookie Bus Driver of the Year is stringent. Honorees must have outstanding attendance, excellent annual evaluations, and they must volunteer and maintain a great safety record. Ms. Jefferson serves students who attend Woodside High School, General Stanford Elementary School, Discovery STEM Academy, and Greenwood Elementary School. She also serves as the key driver at General Stanford Elementary School. Congratulations, Ms. Jefferson. Each year, the Transportation Department also recognizes a bus assistant with 5 or fewer years of service with the Rookie Assistant of the Year award. The awardee must have an outstanding attendance record and demonstrate extensive knowledge of special needs, bus equipment, and safety and emergency procedures. The Rookie Assistant of the Year is Rosa Ann de la Paz. She could not be with us this afternoon, but we do know that we need to recognize her for her service. Ms. de la Paz works well with her students and she understands their needs. She has had excellent annual evaluations and she maintains all the required training. She works well with all of her students, but she especially enjoys traveling with her preschool special needs students. She has been a member of the Transportation Department for 3 years. Ms. de la Paz currently serves as the bus assistant for students who attend Menchville and Woodside High Schools, Crendon and Passage Middle Schools, and Denby Early Childhood Center. Congratulations, Ms. de la Paz. Our next honoree is recognized for his dedication to the maintenance of our bus fleet. The Mechanic of the Year or Top Wrench Award recognizes excellence in attendance, punctuality, attitude, and work ethic. This year, Mechanic Alex Scholl earned this honor. Mr. Scholl, please come forward. Mr. Scholl is part of a team of mechanics who maintain our school buses and support vehicles. He is an ASE automotive service excellence certified technician. A lot of hard work goes into keeping that fleet rolling safely, y'all. Mr. Scholl earned the Top Wrench Award because of his outstanding record with preventative maintenance on quality assurance. He is also commended for great initiative and attendance. Mr. Scholl joined the transportation team 3 years ago. Congratulations, Mr. Scholl. Keep up the great work and keep us safe on those roads. Joining our transportation colleagues this evening are some of their family members. Would you please stand if you're here? That's right. Also joining this transportation team this evening is Shay Colts, Executive Director of Transportation. Transportation Supervisor Sharon Moore. And other members of the transportation family, would you please stand? It's the whole left side. Thank you. So we're going to come to the middle and let's get a picture. All right. So, family, Newport News Public Schools apprenticeship program is a structured professional development and state certification program that combines hands-on career training and practical classroom learning. The program is designed to develop highly skilled employees. During the multi-year process, apprentices gain a deeper understanding of their department's operations and how their work fits into the division's strategic plan and supports our students. The program is the only one in Virginia administered by a school division. I'll say that again because I didn't get any applause. The program is the only one in Virginia administered by a school division through the Virginia Department of Labor and Industries Apprenticeship Office. The customized courses enhance their apprentice skills and talents. The school division has programs in 4 occupational areas: child nutrition, custodial services, transportation, and clerical support. Tonight, we are recognizing our 4th graduating class of the Transportation Apprenticeship Program.
Oh, wow.
Our graduates will receive a certificate of completion and apprenticeship from the State Council. These dedicated employees successfully completed a rigorous sequence of program requirements. We are so proud of their accomplishments. Please join me in congratulating the following: Janelle Banks, Master Bus Driver 2. Brian Brock, Master Bus Driver 2. Tanya Brock, Master Bus Driver 2. Eric Burton, Master Bus Driver 2. Javanna Carty, Master Bus Driver 2. Robin Chandler, non-CDL driver. Come on. Latoya Donovan, Master Bus Driver 2. Charge it to my heart. Betty Elliott, Master Bus Driver 2. Amber Fuller, Master Bus Driver 2. Candace Jones, Master Bus Driver 2. Shelley Jones, Master Bus Driver 2. Alejandra Marshall, Master Bus Driver 2. Ella Overton, Master Bus Assistant 2. Shanika Robinson, Master Bus Driver 2. Elizabeth Rodriguez, Master Bus Driver 2. Tanya Thorpe, Master Bus Driver 2. Dorothy Vaughn, Master Bus Driver 2. The transportation apprentices completed nearly 300 hours of classroom instruction in customer service, effective communication, English, math, Spanish, workplace technology, and leadership skills. In addition to 4,000 hours on the job training in bus routing and dispatch training and coursework that makes them eligible to take the test for National Association for Pupil Transportation Certification as a supervisor of transportation. Wow. Truly an example of lifelong learners, right? Again, please join me in another round of applause in our Transportation Apprentice Program graduates. That's awesome. And your work. That's awesome. I would like to take the opportunity to acknowledge their supporters, their family, friends, and colleagues. Please stand. And transportation leaders, Mr. Colts and Ms. Moore, please be recognized. And we also want to recognize Dr. Yvette Smith, Executive Director of Human Resources, and Dr. Nina Farish, Director of Human Resources, who oversees the district's apprenticeship programs. Thank you all for your support. We're going to get a quick picture. Y'all all come on in. We're going to get a quick photo.
They all get in.
Right here. So at this time, Newport News family, we will take a 8-minute break so that our honorees and their families may leave if they desire to. During this time, our viewing audience will be able to enjoy this month's school board spotlight. The meeting will resume following the spotlight segment, so we will stand in recess. Thank you.
The Newport News Public Schools Transportation Department takes pride in offering safe rides to all our students. With drivers, schools, and families working together, we can ensure our students know the rules of the bus and stay safe every day.
Getting to school safely starts as soon as we leave our homes. On the way to the bus stop, always walk along the curb or as far away from the street as possible. But be polite to your neighbors, especially those picky folks who always yell at you to Stay out of my yard, you whippersnapper. Be sure to walk on the left side of the road facing traffic. Not that side, your other left. That's right, I mean left. And keep your eyes open for moving vehicles on driveways or side streets.
Ugh, rules. Why'd there have to be more rules? But rules keep us safe, especially at the bus stop. While waiting for the bus to arrive, stay out of the street and watch for traffic. Look, none of us are professional stunt doubles, so wait for the bus to make a complete stop before getting on. Enter the bus in a single file line, and don't forget to scan your student ID with your awesome picture and really bad haircut. Go directly to your seat, remain seated during the entire ride, and keep all body parts and property inside the bus. While you're at it, you probably shouldn't throw your friend's property out the window either. And definitely don't throw your friend. Make sure you listen to the bus driver's instructions so they can drive the bus safely. Remember, the bus is an extension of your school, so the same rules apply. No running in the hallways, wherever you are.
Whether you're getting off the bus at school in the morning or going home at the end of the day, safety is always a priority. There's a reason they call it a bus stop. Wait until the bus comes to a complete stop before standing up. Again, scan that unflattering student ID when you get off the bus, so now your parents will know that you're almost home. If you have to cross the street, always cross in front of the bus where the driver can see you. And never, ever walk directly alongside or behind the bus.
Parents, this is a team effort. It's your job to explain these safety guidelines to your children, especially the younger ones, like me, and also the teens, like my brother, who acts like he's not listening. And please remind them to not take rides from strangers and go directly home when the bus drops them off in the afternoon.
Drivers, please keep your eyes out for those very obvious flashing lights. In Virginia, passing a stop school bus with its flashing lights activated and stop arm extended is illegal. All drivers must stop for a school bus approaching in any direction so that children can get on and off safely. And our buses have multiple cameras. Those hefty fines are not fun to pay. If you have any issues or concerns, please contact your child's school.
Thank you to our drivers for transporting our most precious commodity, the students.
Every day, our drivers do an amazing job. Keep up the great work and stay safe out there.
At the 7th Annual Innovate Conference, Newport News educators were invited to connect with colleagues, explore fresh ideas, and walk away with practical teaching strategies. Held near the end of the summer at Woodside High School, the theme for this year's energizing conference experience was Intentional Teaching, Unstoppable Impact. Organized by the Office of Professional Growth and Innovation and the Office of Instructional Technology, the Innovate Conference was designed specifically for NNPS teachers and staff at all grade levels, where educators could exchange ideas, learn new strategies, and become a catalyst for positive change in their schools. Over 700 educators attended or presented, with the opportunity to attend up to 3 hands-on sessions from 125 unique offerings. Presenters included NNPS staff, school leaders, local partners, business representatives, and world-renowned educators. In between sessions, educators experienced the future of learning at the Interactive Innovation Station. Instructional technology coaches helped teachers explore the intentional use of technology in the classroom, understand how these tools align with digital learning integration standards and computer science standards, and consider the growing trend of AI in daily instruction. And at the STEM Showcase, educators engaged with NNPS students who shared their own STEM projects and how these engaging activities make learning fun, bolster critical thinking, and promote collaboration. And staff were welcome to visit with the 28 community and business partners to learn how these organizations can support teachers and classroom learning. For attending the conference, teachers earned 5 recertification points towards their teaching license, while presenters earned 15 recertification points. Through this impactful and student-centered learning experience, Innovate Conference brought NNPS educators together to energize instruction, elevate student engagement, and equip teachers as they develop lifelong learners. For over a decade, Books on Bikes Newport News has kept students engaged in reading through the summer months. Every week, teacher volunteers representing Discovery STEM Academy, Greenwood, McIntosh, Stony Run, and Yates Elementary Schools could be spotted in neighborhoods delivering brand new books to students and families. Riding tricycles with containers of books, or driving in cars during rainstorms or intense heat waves, teachers handed out free books to any kid, no matter what school they attended. With a wide selection of picture books, chapter books, and bilingual translations, educators happily helped each young reader find the perfect book for them. They also offered bookmarks, cold treats, and gift card rewards from local businesses to encourage consistent reading all summer long. Phone calls and social media kindly reminded families where and when Books on Bikes would be stopping in their neighborhoods. Through the dedication of volunteer educators during their summer break, Books on Bikes Newport News ensured that hundreds of families received new books to encourage literacy growth and spread the love of reading. Newport News Public Schools' newest specialty program is making waves. This school year, the floodgates opened for the Maritime Engineering and Environmental Studies Academy, who welcomed their first class of student innovators. MISA is a collaborative lab school partnership between Old Dominion University and Newport News Public Schools. Located in the Oyster Point business area, the program focuses on various fields related to the maritime industry, while offering students dual enrollment credits towards ODU. MISA is a 2-year lab school for 11th and 12th grade students, with this year's 11th grade innovators attending morning classes at the program site before returning to their home schools for the remainder of the day. Classroom instruction takes place in studios, where students use cutting-edge equipment and tools to assist student-guided learning in a variety of STEM-based activities. Multitasking, problem-solving, and working alongside industry professionals through internships and job shadowing opportunities create a truly unique learning experience that develops the career readiness skills needed in the maritime industry. The high school experience is much more than the daily academics and cramming for tests. Clubs, after-school activities, and athletics help develop well-rounded students, provide new experiences, and create lasting memories for high school students. To help students find the perfect way to get involved in their school, each high school celebrated Get Connected Week. Youth development leads, activity directors, and athletic directors worked together to present each school's offerings throughout the week. Either during lunch or after school at back-to-school nights, students, teacher sponsors, and athletic coaches shared their clubs and sports with interested students who are focused on finding a sense of belonging at their school.
I hope you enjoyed this month's School Board Spotlight. During our regular meetings, we provide time for the public to address the school board. These opportunities are scheduled in the early part of our agenda and towards the end of the meeting. As advertised, citizens may submit comments via email up to 30 minutes prior to our meeting time to be included in the official meeting record. For those of you joining us in person, the board considers this an opportunity to listen to your comments. Please understand that we will consider your concerns. We ask that you comply with our 3-minute time limit. As you begin your comments, a green light will come on. A yellow light signals that you have 30 seconds remaining, and a red light and beep indicates your time is up. As your name is called, please come forward. Cici Mazatis.
Good evening, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Best, and board. I am a retired Newport News Public Schools science teacher, and I am here because Dr. Reverend Natalie Chamberlain is out of town. And so she handed me her comments because she is here every month. I am reading her comments on behalf of her and our congregation at Hilton Christian Church. We remain aware that you have no intention of changing policy JBP, but the welfare of the LGBTQIA+ community is vitally important to us. Last month, most of you used your closing comments to affirm your commitment to the LGBTQIA community, and especially the members of that community who are part of this school division. That sentiment is much appreciated, but it isn't enough. Pope Francis has said, "You pray for the hungry, then you feed them." And that is how prayer works. That's also true about professions of goodwill. Words are empty without action. Words without action, just like prayer without action, are a means to remain complicit with the evil against which one professes to care. We are here and we will continue to be here. You may choose not to act, but you can never say you didn't know action was needed. We will be here for the queer community, we will be here for the trans community, and we will be here for you too. We're asking you to be courageous in the face of overwhelming reasons to stay silent, and we will be here for you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Jackie Batterson.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Batterson, and I am a resident of Newport News. To begin, I would like to thank the members of this board who at the last month's meeting acknowledged what we have spent many months coming and speaking to this board regarding our transgender children and the procedure JBP. As I have said in the past, this school system has a decent policy in JB. However, I believe it is essential to revamp the procedure JBP such that it would acknowledge our transgender children's preferred name and identifying pronouns. It would be freedom of speech to allow school employees to recognize our children's preferences. I have a habit of reading signs outside of churches when I pass by. Some have funny sayings, some are serious, and some have parables. However, a sign at a United Church of Christ had this message: "If trans people bother you more than Nazis, then you need to reevaluate." At this time, we have a candidate here in the Commonwealth of Virginia who is running for the highest office in our state, who is using our transgender children as a cudgel to win votes. I feel that is immoral and totally unacceptable to use a minority to further your political ambitions. With this type of dialogue being spewed onto social media daily, it is more important than ever for the schools to provide a safe haven for all of our children. I will end with this. The reason speaking out is so important is that it lowers the perceived risk of those who are silent but have something to say. Your courage matters. Your words matter. Every voice is a key to unlock another's voice. Thank you.
Good evening, members of the board. I'm here to support NNEA Red for Ed campaign for collective bargaining and to support people working together to get everyone the standards they deserve. Dr. Graves has presented a resolution to the board, and as a deliberative governing body, I ask that it be scheduled for a vote on, or be placed on an agenda to be scheduled for a vote. Awards are nice, but even better pieces of paper are wages and contracts that protect the demands on people's time and the standards under which they can be expected to do them. Collective bargaining is a framework for ensuring this is adequate and will help schools meet the needs of getting students to school on time, at a predictable time, and in a reasonable amount of time. Similarly, procedure JBP does not reflect people working together. It reflects scapegoating a minority, and it bothers me that the official policy or statements by the board of the trans students are some kind of danger to the privacy of all students. The requirement for notification to opt out and the deference to the governor on athletics when that's not what's in the state laws as required to come down from the model policies, and the inability to allow counselors to hold sensitive information in confidence are things that should be changed in our procedures. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary Voss.
Hello, members of the board and Dr. Mitchell. Mary Voss, an NPS teacher, parent, and graduate. As always, I would like to start off by encouraging the board to support collective bargaining rights, also known as contract negotiations, for NNPS teachers and staff. Collective bargaining, of course, is the process that allows educators and staff to sit down as equals with their employer to negotiate over wages, working conditions, and the resources we need to do our jobs well. It creates a structured, respectful process for communication and problem solving. And it ensures that the people who work most closely with students have a real voice in decisions that affect classrooms every day. When educators and support staff have a voice, schools work better. Research shows that collective bargaining helps reduce turnover, improves morale, and attracts and retains high-quality educators. In a time when school divisions across Virginia and the country are struggling to fill positions, this matters. Teachers and staff who feel valued and heard are far more likely to stay and give their best to our students. Moving on to the topic of a potential sick leave bank, I want to say thank you to the board and Dr. Mitchell for sending out a survey to gauge interest in a sick leave bank for NNPS teachers and staff. And NNEA members have been advocating for a sick leave bank, so I'm very glad to see it's being considered. I do think it's important to allow more than 1 week for staff to participate in the sick leave bank survey and to send out one more or at least one additional email about it, maybe even more. Even better would be a text blast to employees to remind them to take the survey. That way you can get plenty of data and ensure that significantly more employees take the survey, which will make the results much more meaningful than if the survey is only open for a week. I also think it would be very helpful for NNPS to provide additional information about the potential sick leave bank, including opportunities for teachers and staff to get on Zoom and ask questions. I'm hearing some misunderstandings from staff about what a sick leave bank means. Some think it's just about donating to employees in need. They're not realizing it's also a safety net for them, that they would also be eligible to withdraw from the sick leave bank for a documented medical hardship after their sick leave days are depleted. So that's like a common misunderstanding I'm hearing. Also, there's confusion about a third sick leave day being taken, with some people thinking it'll be taken without permission, when actually the district would ask permission first and give the donor the option to exit the sick leave bank. I hope that NNPS will send out reminder emails, text blasts, provide Zoom sessions where staff can actually fully understand the sick leave bank proposal. A lot of Virginia school districts give their employees the safety net of a sick bank. And I have to think that it may partly be with how it's presented to them. So I just hope NNPS will consider really informing employees about what the sick leave bank is before the survey ends. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments and thoughts this evening. We will now move to Section 3, the consent agenda, which includes 3.01, minutes from the work session, September 16th, 2025. Minutes from the regular meeting, September 16th, 2025. Financial reports, including the revenue and expense reports for September 2025, child nutrition reports. 3.04, the personnel report. 3.06, resolution military child. 3.07, BMP agreement for project at Gildersleeve Middle School. 3.08, budget transfer. 3.09, resolution multi-state opiate settlement. 3.10, General Stanford lease agreement. At this time, can we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any questions, comments?
Yes, Madam Chair, I do have a couple of questions. On the, I know, and it may just be the interface that I'm on the General Stanford school lease, I noticed that the copy in here ends January or December 2026. So I just was, what is the proposed new term? Is it just a renewal of it? It was hard to tell why it was in the consent agenda because it seemed like the old draft form.
Thank you.
The lease does expire next year. The purpose of your motion is to allow us to contact the Department of the Army and get a renewal of the lease for an additional 25 years.
Okay. And the second question on the BMP agreement at Gildersleeve, is that already, I would think it would be already contemplated. That was the solar panels, and this is in regards to runoff regarding the solar panels.
It's a solar panel project, and there's a need to increase the BMP size. That requires us to have an agreement with the city. That's a city ordinance requirement.
Okay. And is that contemplated in the budget or any budget shift allocations? Was that in the original project? Just want to know what we're getting into.
Try to speak to that.
Thank you.
Within the, and it allows us to write off the city's MS4 permit, which is a municipal separate storm sewer system. So basically that's how we manage our stormwater runoff. And we use our vendor that maintains our BMPs to provide inspections for the city. So it's a collaborative opportunity for us, and it's worked out well.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Brown?
So my question is in regards to the opioid settlement resolution that we are adopting here, and this is just in regards to it looks like this is a completion of that settlement, and I guess the question is, maybe we don't know this at this time, how much money are we getting?
We are not a participant in the opioid settlement directly.
Okay.
We chose previously not to become a participant, but the purpose of this resolution is to get even jurisdictions which didn't directly participate in the litigation to approve the settlement. The reason for doing that helps encourage the settlement to be completed. In theory, you could still sue over the opioid crisis, and the jurisdictions are being asked, in essence, to indicate that they will not sue individually and will allow this settlement to proceed without any impediment from us.
Okay, so does our vote tonight mean that we are participant in the settlement and will receive money, or does that mean that we're waiving our rights to sue
The
in
latter.
the future? Okay, so we're waiving our rights to sue in the future, but we're not receiving any
Correct.
funding today.
Correct.
Any other questions or comments?
I'm not sure about the proper procedure, but I would like to move to separate that out from the rest of it.
I would second that motion to separate the opioid settlement from the consent agenda, so we could vote on them in parts.
Okay, it's been properly moved to second, that we separate 3.09, the resolution for the multi-state opiate settlement.
So, Mr. Brown, are you amending Ms. Alger's motion?
I'm
to-
seconding Ms. Amon's motion to amend the consent agenda to remove item 3.09
Okay.
from
So it
the
would be a
main
motion to amend Ms.
She's
Alger's
amending it.
motion, so then we would vote on whether we pull it out,
Yep.
and then we would vote
And then we would vote separately.
on each separately.
Yep. So we're going to vote on the amended motion and go back to the main motion, which includes.
We have to vote whether to amend the motion first.
Right. And then we're going to go back to the main motion.
Main motion.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
then
do,
the one
which
we
is to do
pulled out.
all.
Right. Without the opioid resolution in it.
Correct.
If the
Yep.
amendment passes.
So the amendment motion, Ms. Amon and second by Mr. Brown. So Mr. Brown, is you for the amended motion?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, four.
Okay. Harris?
4.
Hunter?
4.
Searles Law?
4.
Alger?
4.
Amon?
4.
Best?
4.
Motion carries 7-0. Now we're going to go back to the main motion, which was Ms. Alger, and who seconded?
Ms. Amon.
No.
Ms. Harris.
No, it was not Ms. Alger's motion, it was Ms. Amon's motion.
We voted on
sorry.
that, but now we're voting on.
Now
the
we're back to the main
Now,
motion.
oh,
I
I'm
need
sorry,
a second.
the original. I'm sorry.
second.
yeah.
Original
Right.
as amended by
Right.
the amendment.
Right.
Correct.
So what I'm going to do is, I move to approve the consent agenda that is currently amended without
3.09.
3.09
Opioid,
at this
okay.
point, at this time.
All right, and
Who can, will
Searles
second?
Law seconded.
Any discussion, questions? Okay, you can call the roll, Ms. Bucklaw.
All right. Mr. Brown?
4.
Ms. Harris?
4.
Hunter?
4.
Searles Law?
4.
Alger?
4.
Amon?
4.
Best?
4.
Motion carries 7-0. And now we're gonna vote on the resolution.
3.0.
Okay, I'll motion for item 3.09, the resolution for multi-state opioid settlement.
My second.
Any questions, comments?
I'll just make the comment, and I'm open to any other comments from the board, from the rest of the board. I don't see the benefit of agreeing not to sue when signing on means that we get no money. So I don't see the benefit of receiving nothing and agreeing to never sue in the future. I don't see the benefit of that. But I can be convinced otherwise. I can be convinced otherwise by arguments from the rest of the board if they want to offer that up.
Any other comments? Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, I'd like to have a little more elaboration on this one. Again, can we just table this until next meeting? No, we cannot? It's time consuming?
Because of the time lapse?
Okay.
Yeah.
They actually extended the timeline. The original timeline was early October. They extended it to early November. If you don't vote on it in this meeting, then you wouldn't have an opportunity unless you called a special meeting. The answer to your question, Mr. Brown, is the argument that the state would make, the Attorney General's office, is that this is a big deal lawsuit that covers multi-jurisdictional all over the country, and to encourage the settlement of the case, even those jurisdictions which didn't initially choose to participate can help the settlement be finalized because it guarantees to the other party that there won't be all kinds of additional lawsuits that would further cost them money and potentially cost additional settlements. The truth of the matter is the pursuing litigation of this kind would be so costly and involved that an individual school division probably couldn't do it on their own. That's the reason you have the multi-jurisdictional approach in the first place.
So, in essence, if we say no, we're kind of stopping or...
It likely won't stop in practical terms, it likely won't stop the settlement, but the Attorney General's office would prefer that as many jurisdictions as possible join both city councils and school boards to encourage the settlement.
I don't recall why we didn't join in the first place, because I know it came up.
Right. I don't either.
I don't remember either.
I don't either.
I can't answer that question. I know
I don't think
it
it
was
came before the
broached to
board.
the superintendent and board at the time, and a decision, there was never a decision to participate in the multi-state litigation, so we did not do that. Now they're at the settlement stage, and we're being asked to, in essence, facilitate the settlement.
And I don't recall voting on it either. I don't recall it coming before.
There
the
was
board
no
for a
vote.
No. You mentioned city council, so has Newport News City Council made a decision or taken a vote?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know either.
I believe they have, but I'm not positive.
I could certainly find out and let the board know, but it wouldn't obviously be
Right.
time for this.
A question, could we table it until Thursday? Then we'll have a couple of questions answered, maybe.
As long as you call a special meeting and use this as an item for the special meeting, sure.
So we have a meeting, we have to go into, do we need to call it, we have to just alter the agenda? Amend the agenda?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The agenda, yeah.
Yes, you've got 24 hours to call a special meeting and create the agenda, so the answer to that's yes.
We have a motion, we need a motion to do
Well-
that? What happened?
For the meeting on Thursday, because it's already posted, can they just amend it with that
Sure.
agenda item? Because it's already noticed for Thursday.
It sounds like we have enough time to do
Yeah.
it. We have more than 4
I
hours.
believe as long as there's 24 hours notice, you could change the meeting and the agenda.
Yep.
So do we need a motion?
No.
Do we need a motion? Or
How
can
do we do
just-
that?
Do we table it? Can we just do we need a motion, or can we just table it to our,
A motion to add this to the Thursday meeting, is that what you're asking?
or can we just
Or
table,
can you just table it?
table,
And then.
table the vote?
You can just table it and we'll figure out how to get it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Right.
Do we vote on the
Right.
tabling, or do we just table
I
it?
think we just table it, right?
Well, someone could certainly move to table it, and
I
I'll
think
make a
by
motion to move-
consensus, you could
That's fine.
table the item. If you want to vote on it, that's acceptable as well.
Okay, you wanna make a motion?
Can I
Gail,
make
and
a-
then
I move
we'll have
that-
it if we don't need it.
I move that we table this particular item until our 30th, October 30th.
And Mr. Hunter, maybe I'll add, because I was the one who made the main motion, I will relent in the main motion and until Thursday. Can I do that? I will rescind my motion for Thursday.
But do we still have to have something to put
Have
on the
tables.
agenda for
Have table.
Thursday?
Yeah.
Table, I'll second Mr. Hunter's motion, or I will.
Okay, that's what I was,
amend-
okay.
I will
So
withdraw
it's
my
been moved
motion.
and
Thursday the
second
23rd,
to
not the 30th, that's too far away.
23rd?
move 3.09 to the 30th,
23rd.
23rd.
to the 23rd, I'm sorry, to the 23rd.
Thursday.
That's just Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Is our meeting?
Our meeting is in this location, right?
Hines.
No, it's at Hines.
It's at Hines.
It's still centrally
Right.
located.
Because it
You-
still gives us
you-
24 hours, yes. Yes.
Okay, so what I hear is a motion by Mr. Hunter, second by Mr. Brown, to table agenda item 3.09 resolution, multi-state opioid settlement.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Brown,
4.
Harris.
4.
Hunter.
4.
Searles Law.
4.
Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. So we'll move on.
I've been on the way.
Okay, thank you. And we will move to section action items. 4.01 FY 2027 to 2031 Proposed Capital Improvement Plan. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Tonight, as you know, Rusty Fairheart has spent a little bit of time with you on the proposed CIP plan. He will give you an overview of it and a update, if you will, or a slight change with the request. We are asking, Rusty, correct me if I'm wrong, that they will also vote on this tonight? Correct. If you recall, the CIP outlines the division's facilities, priorities, projected timelines, and funding strategies for major capital projects. And so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Fairheart You've had the opportunity to review the updated version. It was loaded into board docs. And so, Mr. Fairheart, I'll turn it over to you.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Mitchell. I'd like to present to you the request your approval for the FY27 to FY 2031 Capital Improvement Plan. Essentially, you're familiar with what was proposed at the last work session, I'm sure. That's on the screen in front of us. The ask for the first year of the plan, FY27, was for $187.8 million, with the two big budget items being the renovations at Warwick High School and Denby High School. As you're aware, a portion of the funding for the design and renovation at Warwick High School was approved for the FY26 CIP, so we're requesting the second half of that appropriation so we can complete that project and get it underway. And then we have Denby design and construction, and the other items are there as well. Buses, we're trying to catch up with where we've been underfunded in previous years based on the rising costs of buses, so we can maintain our replacement cycle as appropriate. One of the items I will point your attention to is the Learning Cottage replacements, and that was for $25.8 million, and I'll share with you why I am pointing that out as we move forward based on feedback that I received from you all at the work session. The total for the 5-year CIP is $359.3 million. So moving forward to what's being proposed to you tonight based on your feedback last month, based on your guidance, we've lumped the Learning Cottage replacements as a safety and security item, and we pushed all those costs into the current fiscal year, that's FY27. So you can see that total rose to $28.2 million. The total for FY27 at this point is $20.2 million, excuse me. And the total has not changed for the 5-year cycle. We've just moved those expenses and requests up to the current fiscal year, and everything else has remained consistent, and those numbers for Learning Cottage replacements have disappeared in the end years of the budget. So with that, I'll take any questions that you may have or comments at this point.
Questions, comments? Being none, at this time, we'll have a motion to approve the 2027 to 2031 proposed capital improvement plan.
I move to approve the 2027 to 2031 proposed capital improvement plan.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? Comments? Ms. Ozone?
I just want to make a comment that we didn't come to this point lightly with the capital improvement plan, and I just really appreciate your team giving us, the full display of what we've done in the past. That was important, and where we are and where we need to go. And I just enjoy working with a group of individuals who has gotten to the point where we ask for what we really need, because there was a time that we didn't do that. And we know that, money is tight, and our city is doing the best they can, by all of us. But I am just really proud that we were able to really present what we need at this point.
Any other comments? Questions? Okay. Ms. Buffalo, call the roll, please.
Brown.
4.
Harris.
4.
Hunter.
4.
Searles Law.
4.
Alger.
4.
Amon.
4.
Best.
4.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll now move to 4.02, personnel actions. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Tonight, I'd like to make a recommendation for Mr. Dwight Durham as the Director of Financial Services here in Newport News. He currently has a Master's of Business Administration from the College of William & Mary, and he also currently works in a neighboring district as a Chief Financial Officer and has worked in a variety of other financial positions in several divisions in our locale. He brings experience with him, and we've had a conversation where sometimes it's nice to have someone that comes that has experiences from other divisions, because we get to learn from others. And so tonight I am making a recommendation for Mr. Dwight Duran to be the Director of Finance.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Any questions, comments?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the personnel item as recommended.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Again, any questions, comments? Ms. Buffalo, call the roll, please.
Brown,
4.
Harris,
4.
Hunter,
4.
Searles Law,
4.
Alger,
4.
Amon,
4.
Best,
4.
motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. We will move to section 5, reports and information, 5.01, new and revised policies. Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much. I think tonight will be Tracy Brooks' night because she will be coming up again after this one. But tonight, Ms. Brooks will present 7 of 15 new revised policies that are required under recently enacted state legislation. And they're in 3 key focus areas: instruction, health, and student cell phone use. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Tracy Brooks.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chairman, Madam Vice Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Mitchell. It is a pleasure to share highlights from 7 new and revised policies and procedures with you this evening. As you know, one of the major roles of the school board is to set the policy direction for the school division. So we are fortunate to have 2 school board members on the policy committee, and they are Mrs. Amon and Mrs. Alger, along with principals, administrators, a teacher representative, and our school board and school division attorneys. As Dr. Mitchell mentioned, this evening I will be sharing 7 of 15 new and revised policies and procedures that are required by new state legislation. And as most of you are aware, we typically begin each policy year by revising our current policies or developing new ones to ensure that we meet the most recent state mandates. Now, I've placed the 7 policies in 3 groups. The first includes 2 policies that relate to instruction. Second are 4 policies that impact student health. And lastly is the policy that addresses student cell phones. Our first policy this evening supports opportunities for middle school students to take advanced mathematics classes to ensure that they are challenged and prepared to take accelerated high school and college level math courses. It formalizes the path that our school division has had in place for many years. This policy establishes the criteria and process for automatically enrolling 5th through 8th grade students in advanced or accelerated math classes, and also allows parents to opt their students out of the accelerated classes should they choose to do so. The policy also requires the school divisions to notify parents of the policy annually. Now, in addition to SOL scores determined by the Department of Education, the Virginia Department of Education, for automatic enrollment, there are other factors that may be considered to allow middle school students to enroll in an advanced or accelerated mathematics course, such as teacher recommendations, parent recommendations, or student aptitude as demonstrated through their grades, class portfolios, or other standardized testing. Now, currently, we have a policy that requires the school division to provide instruction on the use and misuse of alcohol, tobacco, other drugs, and gambling. We revised the policy to add the new state requirement for school divisions to provide instruction in our high schools on opioid overdose prevention and reversal. The class instruction will also include identifying the signs of possible opioid overdose and training in administering a medication for reversing or blocking a possible overdose. Our school division is incorporating this instruction in 9th and 10th grade health classes. Now I would like to review our 4 health-related policies. Our school division conducts several required safety drills throughout the year, from fire drills and lockdown drills to school bus safety drills. Under state law, now every school staff is required to conduct at least 1 sudden cardiac arrest drill on school grounds each year. However, our school division is requiring school staffs to practice responding to sudden cardiac arrest a minimum of twice a year after school hours. Our next policy addresses medications that staff or students may administer during the school day, and we're adding 2 new state requirements to the policy. The first requires that at least 1 employee in every school be trained and available at all times to administer an opioid reversal or blocking medication to someone experiencing a possible overdose during regular school hours. The second requirement allows secondary students with a condition causing seizures to carry their seizure rescue medications with them during the school day at school-sponsored activities or on a school bus or other school property if their parents have submitted a seizure management action plan to the school nurse, which includes written consent from the parent and written approval from the student's primary care physician. Our next policy is new and requires notification of a school-connected student overdose. So within 24 hours, principals must notify the parents of students in their particular school of a confirmed or suspected student overdose that has occurred on school property or at a school-sanctioned event. The policy also requires principals to provide an updated notification to parents if the principals later discover any inaccuracies in their initial notification. Now, over the past few years, our temperatures have been increasing worldwide. This last health-related policy addresses the protection and safety of our student athletes during extreme heat. The policy works to inform coaches, student athletes, and their parents or guardians of the risks, best practices, and strategies for ensuring the safety and protection of student athletes while engaging in outdoor physical activity during extreme heat. The procedure to the policy uses heat guidelines from the Virginia High School League for practices and games. The guidelines include 5 tiers based on heat or humidity levels, beginning with the first tier for the lowest heat or humidity level, requiring special safety and protection precautions, and advancing to the final tier for the most severe heat or humidity level when all outdoor athletic practices and games will be canceled. My last policy this evening addresses the use of cell phones by students. Last school year, the school board passed a student cell phone policy incorporating some of the guidance elements from the Virginia Department of Education. Our policy prohibited elementary and middle school students from using their cell phones from bell to bell, meaning from the time the first bell rings at the start of the school day until the dismissal bell rings at the end of the school day. However, our high school students were allowed to use their cell phones during their lunch period. State law now restricts cell phone use for all students from bell to bell, so we revised our policy to reflect that change. The revised policy works to maintain a safe and orderly environment during the school day and to promote a healthier and more focused educational setting where students can learn free of distractions. Additionally, the procedure to the policy was revised to prohibit a student from being suspended or expelled solely for violation of this procedure. So as I conclude my report this evening, I wanted to revisit our timeline for implementing the 5-year review of our 11 policy chapters from this school year to the year 2030. As we began the second round of chapters to review in year 1 of our timeline, we will bring policies before you from 3 chapters, and they are facilities planning, fiscal management, and support services. So in terms of our next steps, the new and revised policies will come before the school board for action at your November 18th meeting. And once approved, the new and revised policies and procedures will be posted on our school division websites. So this concludes my report this evening. Joining me are Mr. Darrell Pancras, Executive Director of Secondary Teaching and Learning, and Mr. Lynn Wallen, Director of Legal Services. So at this time, we'll be happy to respond to your questions and to note your suggestions. Thank you.
Okay. Tyler?
I had a question about the accelerated math program. You mentioned students would be automatically opted in, and you would annually reach out to parents to provide them notice of this. And I was wondering how you're reaching out to parents, whether it's email, a text blast, through Parent View, and if they are choosing to opt out their children, what does that process look like?
Okay. Mr. Pancras, our expert. Thank you. Good question.
Yes, great question. So we will be doing an email blast for all parents with that, as well as putting it into a Parent View communication.
Okay.
Yes.
Madam Chair. This formalizes a lot of what we're already doing, correct? We
Yes,
already
ma'am.
sort of defer to that. And then my second question was on the cardiac arrest. Are we already doing 2 safety drills a year? So it's not an additional burden, it's just
Right.
codifying actually lesser than what we're already doing.
Right. Our staff wanted to do 2, so we have that in place.
We've been doing that,
Yes.
okay. And students, enrolled in higher math if that makes sense for them and parents can opt out, right?
Yes, ma'am. We've actually, before the state even put this into place, we have had a lower scaled score on our SOLs that we've already been enrolling students in advanced math, even before this was in place. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to circle back to my question, but I don't know if you answered what does the opting out process look like for parents?
I apologize about that. You're right. You did ask that part. So they will receive the letter confirmation saying that their student is there, and then they will communicate with the schools based upon that letter to counseling. So then counselors could make the adjustment in the schedule based upon their preference.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Brown?
All right, yeah, Christmas came early for me. I love of course, I love the IGBJ. I love it so much that I lobbied. I went up to the Virginia General Assembly this last year and lobbied for it. So I'm really excited to see it. The only question I have about potentially ruining this dream for me is the item the section that says if available. So the if available part for us, does that include virtual Virginia? Because if not available in our schools, we could refer the student to virtual Virginia so that we don't slow the student down. Is that what if available means in the policy?
Correct. Yes. But I would say 99% of those courses are available.
Right, are available already.
Yes.
Right. Because the only if availables are maybe at the high school level, because really everything that middle school students are doing is already available. So that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, really excited. This is 10 years in the making for me, and I'm really can't wait to vote on this. So I'm really happy and excited about pretty much all these policies, especially the cell phone one. You all know I've been talking about that for many years now, so it'll be great to. And I want all the students to hear me when I say I'm taking the cell phones out of your hands, even at lunchtime. So yep, you can blame me, and I'm happy to be the blame for it. So and then the other question I had, just in regards to, it becomes very important as we talk to members of the Virginia General Assembly when we go and talk about legislation and bills that they're proposing. Have we, and I know I asked this question before, codified the cost of all of these unfunded mandates? Because there are several unfunded mandates that are in part of this package. And what I really appreciate is getting in the habit of is really quantifying how much this is actually costing us in additional actual labor and time. Because I think it's great that we're doing the, because I actually push for that, having the out of school safety drills, that's great. But how much money is that? And can we get a number on each one of these policies such that when we go and talk to our delegates and senators, that we can actually put a number to, this is how much money you cost us that you didn't give us. Because each one of these, I'm very confident, having sat through the education forum, they went through and said there's no appropriation impact on each one of these bills, but there's an appropriation impact. And what I mean is not just discounting, I know for the defibrillators and some of the heat things, hey, we got this money from the Red Cross, they donated some devices. No, exclude that, because absent of gift and nonprofit helping us, how much money does it cost us? So we really have that number.
We have not officially done that, Mr. Brown. That is a very good point. We have had unfunded mandates for years.
Yes.
And we have not done that, so.
And I think that's a great idea, and I don't see any reason why we can't do it.
Thank you. And I bring that up only from the standpoint of there's eventually going to be a law that's passed that we can't actually suck up, that we can't actually stomach, and we have to be able to explain we didn't do what we were legally mandated to do because we don't have the money for it. And so I think it's important for us to get into the habit of figuring out how much money that's costing us.
Yeah, it would be good to see what's cost neutral, but I'm looking at it and I'm wondering which in particular may, but a lot of this could be absorbed, right?
Well,
It can be, but it usually several of these are requiring additional staff or additional staff time, additional staff training that they have not had in their regular training that they're going to have to either go to or we provide for them. So that's all. I see dollar signs. I hear cash registers just going off with each one of these.
Thank you. Mr. Rosal?
So I was thinking the same thing, even with the cell phone mandate, which I do believe.
Oh, let's keep that one.
It's I do believe that it is a good move. But my question, and it might be rhetorical for right now, is how much is that going to overwhelm our office staff? And is that going to require that we have more support in the building to allow students to come in, use phones, to do rides in the afternoon? I mean, it might not be a huge additional cost, but it's definitely going to be one.
I will say, in terms of the office staff, you're right, it won't necessarily be a monetary cost where we add additional staff, but it will have an impact on the staff in the main office. And teachers with phones in their classrooms, having kids call home. Absolutely.
Just, I want to tag on a couple of things, and I think it would be good, whatever the department is tasked to kind of brainstorm what are these costs, because there are going to be some financial costs and then some non-financial, but they are costs in the sense that, you talk about the, let's say the heat. There may be transportation costs of we've got to bring these kids back, and then we've got to take them when we have, heat cut something short. Or you've got, and maybe we even do a bell and then a 5-minute later bell, so if kids have to call and check their rides, they can if it gets too onerous on the staff. But in the offices, but even the just staying late and how many individuals are involved in doing this, and there's going to be some just sheer additional stress of that can't get home to the family, can't grade papers. It's important, but it's a strain. So yes, it's a great idea.
Yes, ma'am.
Going back to the cell phone policy, I wanted to know how you're going to communicate to students how serious the consequences are of using your phone, as it's a state policy now. And are you going to do it through maybe student view or announcements or town halls? Because I hear a lot about, we won't be able to use our phones, but not what the process looks like if you get in trouble for using your phone. And I don't think a lot of students take it seriously because they don't know the consequences.
Yes, in fact, there's a communications plan in place to cover many of the areas that you've mentioned. And I think the effective date for us is starting second quarter. So I know that information is going out to students and to families. And as I said, using multiple venues. And so definitely.
Mrs. Brooks to that, and I know some principals, Principal Holler, they'll send almost weekly emails, updates. If communications had an excerpt to let them include in it with the list, that might be, I think a lot of times people might just think of the natural communications that everybody checks every week.
Exactly,
You can
yes.
put it in there, just an extra way to share, because the lunch wasn't us, it was the state, so we'll do what we have to do.
Yes, indeed. Okay, we will do that.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now we'll move on to 5.02, strategic plan presentation. Dr. Mitchell.
And Ms. Brooks just needs to remain at the podium.
Grab her water.
And so tonight, We will present the Elevate 2030, Empowering Every Student. As we have worked through this plan, we see it as a bold step forward for our school district as we are trying to chart out our next 5 years. So Ms. Brooks is going to provide tonight's presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. Good evening, Madam Chairman, Madam Vice Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Mitchell. I am excited to present our strategic plan for the next 5 years and our profile of a Newport News learner. With the involvement of hundreds of participants, including our families, school division staff, and our community, we now have what we believe is an ambitious plan, innovative and inspiring plan for the future of Newport News Public Schools. I would like to begin this evening with this quote from our superintendent that embodies our shared purpose and collaboration, and it reads, "Together we are building momentum for lasting change, and elevating every learner every day." When we began this process, we knew that a successful plan would require us to partner with our school division family and the community at large. So we formed a strategic plan steering committee consisting of a broad representation from across the peninsula that provided input in developing the framework for both our 5-year strategic plan and our profile of a Newport News learner. So starting in February of this year and throughout the process, steering committee members played a key role by providing invaluable insights and perspectives, ensuring that our strategic plan reflected the collective aspirations and priorities of our entire community. The committee members also solicited feedback from their larger group of constituents, resulting in a more robust and inclusive process. Now, there were multiple sources of engagement throughout the strategic planning process, with feedback and data points from the community through 13 stakeholder focus groups, over 1,000 survey participants, and 3 school board member workshops. And fortunately, with this board's direction and leadership and the community's input, we finalized the school division's mission, vision, and core values and developed the 5 goals that form the foundation and priorities of our strategic plan and the profile of a Newport News learner. And now I would like to share our mission, vision, and core values, followed by the 5 strategic plan priority or focus areas with the school board's goal under each priority. Our guiding principles that anchor all we do are our mission, vision, and core values. Our mission is to cultivate and empower every student's potential through high-quality instruction, personalized support, and strong relationships. Our vision is elevate, empower, 1 NNPS. And our core values are integrity, respect, accountability, excellence, empowerment, and collaboration. Now, our planning process aligns instruction with opportunity and engagement. The 5 strategic plan focus areas are here on the slide: academic literacy, culture of advancement, workforce readiness, civic and business partnerships, and elevating our identity. And now I would like to take a moment to share the school board's goal under each of these priorities. After the board established the goals, our division leaders from various departments developed the key performance indicators that will measure our progress. Our first strategic plan focus area is academic literacy, which is the cornerstone of student success. The school board's goal is that 90% of students in grades 3 and 5 will be proficient in reading and math by the year 2030, with steady annual growth and a focus on closing achievement gaps. Under a culture of advancement, we are building a culture where every student can succeed in rigorous coursework, whether it be academic, artistic, or technical. The board's culture of advancement goal is by the year 2030, we will increase student engagement and successful completion of advanced learning opportunities across all areas of the curriculum, while maintaining strong academic growth at all levels to ensure that students are prepared for future-ready pathways. This strategic focus area ensures that students leave Newport News Public Schools with skills and credentials aligned to our region's economic needs. The school board's goal is to increase the number of students who graduate workforce ready, equipped to enter high-demand careers, and meet the needs of a changing economy by 2030. Civic and business partnerships expand learning beyond the classroom through authentic community-based experiences. The board's goal is that all students in grades 6 through 12 will engage in real-world learning experiences that connect them to their communities and prepare them for future success by the year 2030. The last strategic focus area is elevating our identity. We will be amplifying the school division's story to build greater pride among students, staff, and families. The school board's goal is that by 2030, Newport News Public Schools will strengthen the division's image through consistent storytelling, elevating community pride, and celebrating student and staff success. And now I would like to share our Profile of a Learner and Newport News Graduate, which focuses on the following 6 attributes that this school board determined our students should possess. Our students will be academically prepared, emotionally intelligent, a leader, reflective, innovative, and resilient. And now I would like to take a moment to speak very briefly to each of these. In being academically prepared, our students will be literate and workforce-minded, ready for future endeavors. Using emotional intelligence, students will navigate life and relationships with empathy and self-awareness. Our students will lead with purpose, influence, and integrity beyond the classroom. As reflective learners, our students will think critically to grow and make meaningful life choices. Our students will be innovative, solving problems with creativity and a future-focused mindset. And lastly, being resilient will allow our students to respond to challenges and demonstrate self-directed learning. As next steps, we will share copies of the draft strategic plan with board members this week for your review and revision, and then the plan will come before you as an action item at your November 18th school board meeting. Following your approval, we will develop a communications plan to increase public awareness of our course for the next 5 years, launch the strategic plan this fall with staff, initially at our general administrative staff meeting in early December, integrate plan elements into the curriculum by making meaningful connections for students that are rigorous and engaging, and create an implementation committee with the staff leads for each focus area to implement the action steps and measure our progress using the key performance indicators, which will be reported to this school board quarterly. So in closing, once again, I would like to thank all who helped shape Elevate 2030, from our students, families, and staff, to our community, business, government, and faith partners. I would like to leave us this evening with our vision: elevate, empower, one NNPS. So we thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
We thank the community.
Any questions?
Just excitement.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Yes.
We do
Thank
appreciate it because it looks like a lot went into it, and we really appreciate it, and thank you for pulling it together.
Thank you very much. It was definitely a community effort.
And we will now move on to 5.03, the attendance report. Board members, you have received a copy of this report. Are there any questions? 5.04, the membership report. Board members, you have received a copy of this report. Are there any questions? Thank you. 5.05, the construction report. Board members, you have received a copy of this report. Are there any questions? All right, hearing none, we'll move to item 5.06, comments by the superintendent, Dr. Mitchell.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. We are super excited to share with you that we are offering a virtual after-school STEM academy for grades 4 through 8, and it is hands-on, and it will cover things like aerospace, robotics, coding, astronomy, and astrophysics, and it's going to take place starting now and run through the spring. So we are super excited about that. And then yesterday we had an amazing day at Menchville High School. Many of you, Kyla was there, and that is her school. We had the opportunity to do a ribbon cutting for the newly refurbished courtyard at Menchville, which was made possible through a group donation that was really led by a company, USA Joint Venture. But there were lots of businesses that also not only donated finances, but they also donated a lot of labor and a lot of time. So we are super excited about that, and we are very appreciative to our community partners. We already acknowledged earlier, this is National Bus Safety Week, but I did want to take a moment to thank all of our bus drivers and all of our dispatchers. There's so many people that go into getting the bus on the road. You know, they say the wheels on the bus go round and round. They don't go round and round just by putting the key in. There's a lot of people that are working on that, and just want the transportation staff to know how much we really appreciate what they do every day. October is National Bullying Prevention Month, and as you know, if you've been an NNPS person for a while, you know that we do a lot about raising awareness about bullying, while promoting kindness and acceptance. And we do it daily, but we also do it through a variety of events, such as Stand, and then October the 6th was recognition for World Bullying Prevention Day, where everyone wore blue. So we had a good turnout at Todd Stadium. We did something different this year. We did the walk around the track in the beginning of the game, which really helped younger children be able to go home at a reasonable time. So it was very, very successful. And one of the important things that we also want to touch on today is that this month is National Principals Month, and we want to thank all of our principals for their leadership, for their commitment, not only to students, but to staff and to families. We appreciate your dedication, we appreciate your vision, and the countless hours that you invest in our school community. That's another job that's not an easy job. We talked about bus drivers today. Being teachers and principals are hard. We appreciate what our principals do every day. October is Disability Awareness Month, National Disability Awareness Month, and this really is a time for all of us to recognize and celebrate the contributions and the history of people with disabilities. It's a time for us to increase public awareness and the rights of people with disabilities. So this, again, is October is two things, well, really three: National Principal Awareness, Bullying Prevention, and National Principal. So October is a big month for us. And I'm going to round it out by just sharing with you a few events that are coming up. Saturday, November the 1st, we have a hiring event at Warwick High School. So if you are interested in working for Newport News Public Schools in a variety of capacities, oftentimes people think the job fair is for teachers only, but there are lots of positions that you can apply for. And Monday, November the 3rd, can't believe it, it is the end of the marking period. Can you believe that, Kyle?
No.
It has flown by. It has flown by, but it is the end of the marking period. So students, if you have outstanding assignments, let's get everything turned in. And then Tuesday is the e-commute day, work day. Still a work day, teachers who are sitting out here, but it is a commute day. Students do not report, and our staff will work from home. We do have elections. They use our building, so our staff is able to work from home. And then Wednesday, this is more for parents than it is for students, Kyla. Wednesday, report cards are issued. That's important for parents to know. Kyla, that's for your mom to know your report. Okay, and that ends my comments.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. We will now move on to item 6, another opportunity to hear from the public. Are there any additional cards?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. We will now move on to matters by the school board, and we will begin with our student representative.
Thank you. The SAGE students have been selected for the school year, and later this week I'll be meeting with Dr. Mitchell and Mrs. Brooks to plan the agenda for our first meeting, which will be held on Wednesday, October 29th. We're looking forward to a really, really exciting year. Additionally, the ribbon cutting ceremony for Mitchell's new outdoor learning center took place yesterday. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Newport News community, staff, and partners for their dedication to continuously providing students with new and exciting opportunities. It was a joy to see so many people, like Superintendent Dr. Mitchell, Board Member Mrs. Amon, and Vice Chair Mrs. Alger, gather to celebrate such a meaningful achievement. I truly thank all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have Ms. Harris next.
Okay, well, that came quick. I just wanted to, first I want to talk about the strategic plan, like it, from being a part of the process from the beginning for the first time, and seeing it really unfold and the pieces come together so nicely. It was great seeing it up there. Thank you for that presentation. Really proud of what the collective was able to come up with, and I'm ready to push the mission forward. You know, empower one NNPS. I just think it's perfectly woven together. I also too wanted to thank my colleagues for attending with me at the Honorable Dr. McKinley Price street naming ceremony that took place on October 3rd. I wanted to also thank my colleagues for attending on October 8th, the Newport News PTA meeting that happened at Heritage High School. Please, I'm encouraging everyone to be a part of their PTAs. They're trying to get their membership up, so you can definitely go on the website and find out more about that, and that's a way of engagement. October 5th was National Coaches Day, so all of our coaches on all of our fields across the division, I just wanted to shout you out too. It's a lot going on in October, but thank you for those coaches, those extended mentors and leaders that help our students excel and grow. I also too wanted to bring attention that there's notices went out for Junior National Honor Society. Help your kiddos get through those packets so that they can be recognized, and make it a big deal because it is. And SATs, the PSATs are coming up as well. I wanted to give another reminder that those dates are coming up. And shout out to Breast Cancer Awareness Month as well, which is also in October. So all of our survivors and all of our folks that that initiative is important to, wanted to just shout that out. And lastly, I just want to remind people that there are food distribution centers in and about the city. There are FACE specialists that are collaborating with other organizations that are providing food distribution opportunities at different schools. Please be on the lookout for those notices. They're on social media, they're on Facebook, they are on the Newport News public school website, so you can keep abreast and ways to offer these opportunities for our families and in our children. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. It's good to have a young person on the board like that. I call her the Energizer Bunny because she's all over the place. But thank you. Ms. Amon?
Sure. Thank you. Just a couple of things, and Kyla kind of took some of the wind out of my sails. The ribbon cutting was a great event, and since maybe some people watching who are in here aren't as aware of it, I wanted to share a little bit about sort of the genesis or the reason behind it. It wasn't just Mitchell decided to redo its back courtyard. Those that live in the area may have seen all the construction and inconvenience of the construction at Riverview Farm Park, and that is a project by HRSD called the SWIFT Project, and though it's not something they have to do, but it's something they've chosen to do, which I think is really neat.
communities around the Mid-Atlantic, Eastern Seaboard, some of them get a lot of their water through the Potomac Aquifer, an aquifer under our area, under this region. And as they draw, it shrinks. You get some of the subsidence. You'll, like cities like Norfolk sinking, sort of a la New Orleans, but that's up here. You see some of the sinking in the ground, not necessarily sea level rise always. Some of it is just the sinking because of things like the aquifer being depleted. So that system is a way to take wastewater that would normally be released into the river, so it's very treated, already treated even more, to be able to inject it into the aquifer, to replenish it, to hopefully preserve that. But it's been a big inconvenience. It was a big project. So the companies that, or contractors that were involved, wanted to do something for the local community, and they picked Minchville, they're right there, and pulled together a lot of donations and resources to redo that. So it was just a great opportunity to meet them, see the new learning area and courtyard at its end and its completion, and just make those connections and see them giving back to the community. So that was just, it was neat to see those two things tied together. They will also have, Mitchell will have its homecoming parade is coming back, 9 a.m. on Saturday. If you're driving by, take a look. And middle school, I know the soccer season, I'm sure others, but the soccer season is coming to an end. I believe the top 2 teams will compete next Tuesday at Todd Stadium. If it's like it usually is, ladies at 4, men at 5, but that should be exciting. And then we all are, I'm sure everyone's seen the notice, but we're all going to be having a community meeting to learn more about transportation options and buses and zoning and magnet schools. So if you're interested in that, come check it out, or see any notes or information that comes out of that. I'm really excited to learn what we have to learn.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Amon. And now, Mr. Brown.
Okay, so I'll piggyback on that and just implore the community, please, on Thursday, October 23rd at Hines Middle School, I believe at 6:30. We are going to have a community session to hear from you on our magnet busing program and our transportation needs. So this is your opportunity as a community to let us know what the essential transportation needs are that you have. This is a chance that we scheduled to hear from you. So it really will be a wasted opportunity if we don't hear from the public, if you don't come and hear what is going on. So I implore you, if you don't have time in your schedule to participate in the meeting, please, look at our meetings are recapped on YouTube and on our website. You can see the meetings there and just participate that way. But please just take every advantage to give us feedback at this time now, because we're in a time where we are going to have to continue to make some challenging decisions in regards to our transportation to essentially right size to the budget that we have and to the staff that we have, right? So that's going to continue to be pressing forward. It's going to continue to be an issue. And as well, as we have the Halloween holiday coming up, I would just implore the community, challenge you to make it a community day. So one of the things that is sort of lost in this generation that used to be, we all kind of had, we had the trick-or-treat, tradition that we would do, and various things have crowded in the way of that in terms of people not wanting to go door to door and things of that nature. But still, there are community activities that you can do, and don't let that just be I would say, a wasted day where you are insular in your own house, because at a time like this, especially, we've got I know a lot of folks are out of work right now, so you got time right now, so to speak. Get out in your community, fellowship with one another. If your church is doing a fall picnic fun day, participate in that. If there's something going on at the mall, go to that. But just make sure that do something that gets you out with the community and sharing that time with each other. Because it doesn't have to be the trick-or-treating thing, but do something in the community together. Don't let that just be a day that you sit in the house. And finally, real excited, of course, about these policies, IGBJ and JICB. Like I said, Christmas has come early for me in terms of these policies, something that I've been advocating for a very long time, and happy to see these codified for our division, and can't wait to vote on them next month. So please stay tuned, because that'll be I'll enjoy unwrapping my Christmas gift next month when we vote on these policies.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Hunter?
Great things are happening in Newport. I'm just going to have a couple comments. First, I want to thank Dr. Ransom at the Ella Fitzgerald Middle School. He hosted the Newport News Education Foundation meeting last Thursday. The first time I've been to Ella Fitzgerald. What a phenomenal school. I thought it was some musical school, man. Wow. Just want to, the students were fabulous. They are approaching to be a blue ribbon school. I mean, he has completely, I don't want to brag on anyone, but he has turned that school around or have moved that school up tremendously. So I want to shout out to him and his whole staff and all the students to go there as well. I want to say thank you for that. And if you don't know about the Newport News Education Foundation, I guess I've been on that board for quite some time. We're really one of the fundraising arms of the school district. We raise money for small teacher grants that we give out every year. We've had a golf tournament, and we're going to have another one again. We have Salute to Success. So if you had a student who was invited to those events, and now we've also included those who are getting the CTE awards. So if they got 3 or 4 or 5 awards, they're also recognized. So again, Newport News Education Foundation, I'm going to make a purpose this year to kind of get us more on track, to get us out and open, and to let us know that there is a fundraising arm of the school district that will help, provide scholarships, and we do provide scholarships and grants to our teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Ms. Searles Law?
So I'll just piggyback off from Mr. Hunter that we also have the LEP scholarship for students. And that is an opportunity for a student to get funding to go to school, but then to come back here and teach. And that is just phenomenal. And some of the winners that we've had over the years are just amazing and have contributed nicely. The policies that we're looking at, I got excited. Mr. Brown's energy, I was like, oh my gosh. But I got excited along with him because what I realized is that the fight that has occurred for some of those things to be for the state have already happened in our division. And it's individuals, there's some on here like Maritza and Douglas, and we go up and we talk about the things that are working well in our divisions. And so it's really an exciting thing to see that they're happening for the entire state. We don't want unfunded mandates, but we do want opportunities for all of our students. And it's just exciting to get into the schools. And so one of the ways that I've been able to get in the past couple of weeks is by reading with the Mayor's Book Club. So I encourage anyone can actually come in to the schools. You have to be vetted and all that good stuff. But you can come in and read to the children, and then they get the book that you actually read to them. And it's just a really neat way to connect with the students, but even more importantly with the teachers. The teachers are fantastic, and they use you as a teachable moment when you walk in that door, and it's really just a joy to be part, of their learning day, their teaching day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Searles Law. Ms. Alger?
Yes, one of our roles is to be an ambassador out there for the community. And so this past week, I decided to take on an invitation with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, and that was amazing. So it was early morning. It was the coldest day last week. And I get to the boat, and there were so many leaders. Pastor Swan from Ivy Baptist Church and his team were there, and everyone was there with one purpose: to be educated about the needs of our river. We were exploring the Hampton River. Baby dolphins were just jumping all around. Looked at Oyster Reef, and my reason for being there as a school board member was to see the value of the education that we have out in the community, and also the partnerships that we have in our schools. come to find out that a lot of our schools are already involved. I believe Booker T goes quite often with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. The kids take trips out there on the river, and I'd like to see more of our members of our community all around to definitely take advantage. They are an organization that are about educating and also advocacy for our environment. So I want to do a big shout out to them, and thanking our team over here for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Alger. So I'll be fast. I'm just going to touch on a couple of things. Just riding throughout the community, I passed several sporting events at different schools. So I didn't realize it was National Coaching Day, but I want to say thank you to every coach, every club sponsor, every middle school sport, and every parent and staff member that comes out and support those children. We really do appreciate it, and they appreciate it, even though I know sometimes they'll say, you don't have to come, or I don't want you there. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I still enjoy for my mother to come and support me, so go out and support them if you can, and we appreciate you all doing that as well. Mrs. Harris and I did attend the PTA meeting with the other Newport News schools, and Ms. Nordine and the PTA, they're knocking it out of the park. The numbers are steadily rising. If you're not a member, please make sure you can join at any school, and you can join online, but they're doing great things, and we really appreciate our PTA. Mr. August Bullock, who was a great supporter of Newport News Public Schools, we extend condolences to his family. He started his career in Newport News, but he ended he worked at schools throughout Virginia, but when he retired, he came back to Newport News, and he served on 2 strategic planning committee meetings, our diversity and inclusion committee, and I believe it was maybe 2 more, but we're gonna miss him, and we just wanted to let his family know we appreciate his support of Newport News Public Schools. So I'm gonna end up with the community transportation meeting on Thursday. Again, it's 6:30 at Hines Middle School. I shared with you all at the last meeting that I had to take my great niece to school because when I pulled up to the bus had already closed and it was ready to go, and they cannot reopen the doors and let you in and that type of thing. And I promised that she was not going to be late again. I was not going to miss the bus again. Well, we missed the bus again. So I had to take her to school. And again, I'm pointing out Carver because that's where she attends school. So as I sat in the line, I said, okay, I'm not going to walk her in this time. I'll get in the car line. A well-oiled machine, just a well-oiled machine. So I want to thank all the staff at every school for what you do to get our kids into the building. I want to thank all of the parents that drive their children to school every single day and pick them up every day, because it did make a difference in our transportation in Newport News Public Schools, and I'm sure they'll share a little bit more of that at the community meeting. So thank you so much to our parents. Again, I want you to know we really appreciate you, and those staff members that are out there directing, and it's been wonderful weather, but I've been there, so you're gonna be out there in the rain and the cold, and I know it doesn't feel good, but I want you to know we see you and we appreciate it. So that's all I have to say. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.